Hi everyone, welcome back to Kids Church. I hope you've all had a great week, and here we are, the fourth Sunday of Advent, the last Sunday we have to prepare for Christmas. Can you believe that Christmas is less than a week away? I know we're all getting really excited around here. All right, so we're going to do our verse. We still have 2 more weeks with this verse, okay? So you still have 2 more weeks to give me a call once you've memorized it. You can give me a call and say it to me anytime, or you can look up First Baptist Church of Waterford, Connecticut, and you can say it to our secretary, Mrs. Ledestri. All right, here we go. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is Christ the Lord. Luke 2, verse 11. One more time. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior who is Christ the Lord. Luke 2, verse 11. So the last 2 weeks, we have talked about baby Jesus being born and the star that God put up in the sky after he was born and the shepherds going to visit him. We're going to talk this week. The story is called The King of All Kings, and it's taken from the book of Matthew 2, and it's the story of the 3 wise men. Far away in the east, 3 clever men saw the very same star, the star that God had put in the sky when Jesus was born. They knew it was a sign. A baby king had been born. They had been waiting for the star. They knew it would come. "He's here," they shouted. "He's here." And I'm sure if you had been there, you would have heard them laughing and dancing and singing until the sun came up. At dawn, they packed up their camels and wrapped gifts for the baby. They brought their most precious treasures of all, frankincense, gold, and myrrh, special, sparkly, lovely smelling, gleaming things, just right for a king. Here's our picture. You can see those 3 wise men. They see the star. Okay? The 3 wise men, actually, if you'd met them, you'd have thought they were kings because they were so rich and clever and important looking. But they set off. They rode their camels across endless deserts, up steep mountains, down into deep valleys, through raging rivers, over grassy plains, night and day, day and night, for hours that turned into days, that turned into weeks, that turned into months and months, until at last they reached. We'll see where they reached in a second. I'm going to show you the pictures so you can see them on their camels and all the different things that they went through. See where they got to. Jerusalem. So they went to Jerusalem. So at this point, Jesus wasn't in Bethlehem anymore. He was in Jerusalem. Jerusalem was by far the most important city for miles around. And, as anyone can tell you, that's where a palace would be. And kings are born in palaces. So that's where they went. But they were in for a surprise. They went to see King Herod. Surely he'd know where this baby was. But he didn't. In fact, he didn't like the sound of a new king. It made him cross, which means angry. He didn't want anyone to be king except him. But Herod's advisors told the 3 wise men what was written in their books, what God had said about the baby king. Go to Bethlehem. That's where you'll find him. All right, so they went to Jerusalem first, but they found out Jesus wasn't there. Suddenly, the star they had seen in the east started moving again, showing them a way. So the 3 wise men followed the star out of the big city, along the road, into the little town of Bethlehem. They followed the star through the streets of Bethlehem, out of the nice part of town, through the not so nice part of town, into the really not nice at all part of town, down a little dirt track, until it stopped right over a little house. But wait, It wasn't a palace, and there weren't any guards or servants or flags or red carpets or trumpets or anything. Did they get it wrong? Or was this what God meant? So you can see, here they are up here at Jerusalem, and then they had to keep following that road and get all the way down to here, and that's where the star stopped. Sure enough, in that little house, there, sitting on his mother's knee, they found him, the baby king. The three men knelt before the little king. They took off their rich royal turbans and gleaming golden crowns. They bowed their noble heads to the ground and gave him their sparkling treasures. The journey that had begun so many centuries before had led three wise men here, to a little town, to a little house, to a little child. To the king God had promised David all those years before. But this town was a new kind of king. But this child was a new kind of king. Though he was the Prince of Heaven, he had become poor. Though he was the mighty God, he had become a helpless baby. This king hadn't come to be the boss. He had come to be a servant. So you can see them there. Now look at Jesus. He's there sitting on his mother's lap. He's not really a baby anymore, is he? Remember, it took the wise men months to get from where they were to Jerusalem because they thought he was there, and then he wasn't. He was still in Bethlehem, and they still had to get to Bethlehem from Jerusalem. So it took a long time. Jesus wasn't really a baby anymore. I hope you enjoyed this story. Let's do our verse one more time. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. Luke 2, verse 11. I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas, and I can't wait to see you back next week. Bye.